Good morning. Just had to do a little techie stuff here. So I'm a couple minutes late, a whole 4 minutes. Let me know when you're here. Give me a thumbs up and a hey, and we will get started. Yes, my voice sounds a little raspy. I don't know. I think it's just winter in Vermont, but we're good. I have my water. I'm all set. So let me know when you are here. And this is a first. This is the first time that I have shared Inspire with everyone. Usually it's held in our classroom, but I'm loving the way that I can get these cameras to look and to show you the detail using this particular software, and it only works on Facebook. Hello, Christine. So, no, and I promise I won't go through hello, everybody. So what is Inspire actually? It's a monthly class that I put together on a Saturday, and it's all about the goodie bag. There's a link just above where this video is on the Facebook page, so you can go look at it. And basically, the people that enroll get this, it's not really a bag, get a priority mail package in the mail, and it has all the things that you need to do this class. Hey, Susan. And we create together. I have projects put together for everybody, and we just work. So today, because of this camera that I really want to share with everybody, it's not all that unique. It's not like we're going to zoom in or you're going to, it's not that different. It's just clearer and more precise, and I can get closer with some of the stuff. So we're not in our little cozy classroom where we usually are, but we're here with all of you and sharing with all of you. I decided it would be fun for you to see what goes on in Inspire. So you'll see a lot of people that chit-chat with each other, that know each other because they've been doing this for a while. So what are we doing today? Well, I have one more thing I want to show you. Let me see if we can do this and not get too crazy. I'm pushing my technology here to see how much I can do. Let's see what happens. Maybe that's going to work, maybe not. Hold on. You know, I have to talk to it nicely. And clearly I'm not talking nicely enough. There it is. Come on, you can do it. You can, you little machine. All right, maybe it can't. Let me try one more time. It's really looking. I wanted to show you what it looks like so that you can see, but you know, maybe we can't. All right, well, we're not going to wait anymore. We're going to give up. Anywho, oh, I can actually show you this way. Hold on. Yeah, I know you're busy. I know, you're really busy. Poor little thing. All right, so this, let me get it right. This is Inspire, and it shares, it tells you what you're going to do, and it is not a touch screen. Too many touch screens going on. But that's what everybody got in the mail. Okay. Right, technology is going to be my friend today. You are absolutely right. All right, so we are going to get started. I have all my things out. Those of you that are enrolled in the class, if you go into the classroom, you will see your sketches. And those of you that are watching us live and kind of peering over our shoulders, you can take a peek. I didn't include them in the Facebook download. All right, first thing we're going to do is some cards. We are using the Humming Along. This does come in a bundle with some Thinlits, but the Thinlits were not part of today, although they're really cool. Cheryl, you got Thinlits, I think. Inspire usually allows you to add on things if you want. You also got a packet of pre-cut shapes for you, and we're going to work with those. You got, because it's Celebration, the Home to Roost stamp set we're also going to use. These, we're using the Gingham Gala 6x6. I love these colors. They're so springy. Did you know the groundhog did not see his shadow today? That means we're going to get spring early. I hope the groundhog's right this year, because I definitely need that. We're using the braided linen trim. And then I suggested, oh, and we have there's a gable box in there too, one of the sparkling white ones. And I suggested that you might want to add your Mossy Meadow, your Balmy Blue, and an Aqua Painter, and your Memento. And I think that's about it. I did end up using 2 punches, my 2 and my 2 1/4. If you don't have these punches, you could use your circle thinlits. That would be okay too. Again, the way Inspire works is I show you ideas, I show you cards. If you don't have exactly what I have, you're inspired to use what you have, okay? And hope it's a kicking off point. So, let's get started. I need to get my chair out of the way and clear a clean spot. First thing we're going to do, I have some samples, but mostly I do them with you. So first thing we're going to do is this card, which is going to start with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 A2 card base, which is right here. Then I want a cardstock at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. What's great about the Gingham Gala is they do have a coordinating cardstock pack. But clearly you can use any ones that you have. The Balmy Blue is what I'm going to use first, and that's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. No, it's not. It's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that is going to go right here. And that's going to, this card base is not cut right. So let me start again. It was one that was laying around and I thought, oh, I can use that. No, I can't. It's going to make me crazy. If I miss a question, ask me again, because I'm watching you and I think I can see them. When I'm cutting my card base, it's 5 1/2. And then, you know what, I'm going to do 2 of these because I'm going to need one more. How many of you have a bunch of these already pre-cut? I always say I'm going to do that, and I just never do. It's really, if that's your standard card size, it does save some time to have those pre-cut for you. I always say that I'm going to, but I don't. And then you're going to score them at 4 1/4. All right. Move you over here. And I'm going to grab my bone folder. Hey, Shelly Lee. All right, and then this is going to go right here, bright and early on a Saturday morning. And I'm going to put this down. Oh, no, wait, I'm not. Why am I not? Okay, look at this sketch. Notice it's asking for the same cardstock back here as here. Now, clearly, you could do this any way you want. Right, Susan? I'm gonna. Hey, Deb. All right, but I'm gonna want to cut this cardstock mat right here out of the middle of this, so I save my paper. I'm not going to use a ton of it. Now, it's kind of tricky to get into the middle if you don't have the new rectangle thinlits. I am cheating. These are not a requirement, but boy, I love them. So if you have these, and I've been telling you all month, these are the staples that you're going to need. These are like bread and milk. You're going to use these for everything. But if you don't have them yet, you could poke a hole in the middle and cut out your square. The only part that's going to show on this one is just the edge. So however I need to get into the middle, you might have to work out a little. I know it's earlier for you, Deb. Okay, so I need a 3.5 by 2.5. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm gonna pick through these, and I'm gonna pick these two. All right? I'm gonna just double check and see if I'm close. If you don't want to do this, you can just cut another piece of paper. It's not a big deal, but if you're trying to save, yeah, this one's not quite that shape exactly, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to show you it using, cutting it with measurements, using a piece of cardstock, or using those, all right? So let's just do it both ways. 3.5 by 2.5. Just as a little FYI at the beginning, if for some, this tends to go long. This is longer than my Mondays and Thursdays. If for some reason I get kicked off and the camera says, okay, you're done, don't go anywhere. I'll just restart and come back again. It has to do with the recording of it. So if it's too long a recording, it may say, no, 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 you don't want to talk anymore. 3.5 by 2.5 and 3.5. Whoops, I don't want to use you. Oh, I see a mistake on that. I do. So if you've already printed these out at home, it should be the reverse. You want the bigger cardstock and the smaller Whisper White, okay? So let's go back. I want my cardstock, leave you alone. I want my cardstock to be 3.5 by 2 and oh no, I did it right. No, I'm completely wrong. Those of you printing this out at home, don't. Let me fix that for you. Those of you watching me online, pay no attention to the crazy lady on the giving you measurements. She's completely wrong. 3.5 by 4.5 is what I want this to be. 4.5 by 3.5. Which I already knew that. And 3.25 by 4.25 is what I want this to be. Pay no attention to what's written on the paper. I was trying to figure out how to use those things when I was writing it. There, I'm not done yet though. I need my designer series. So anyway, I don't want to take up all of our time playing with these squares. Those will work too. Right? Susan, it's early. I told you that the last time that I don't do this early in the morning anymore. This is my designer series paper. This one's fine. It's just those other ones that I don't know what I did. You know, what I did was I wrote it late at night. I'll just give it an excuse. It has nothing to do with my age. Zero. Zip nothing. All right. So if you wanted to punch this out of the middle, you could. Grab this. Mr. Big Shot. Pop that down. When you're using these rectangles, they work better if you can kind of go in at an angle rather than straight on. Now I know it's tough sometimes because then your paper won't fit, but if you can give it just a little bit of an angle, it'll go better. You don't hear any clunks. Just that little twist gives it a better look. And then I need my Whisper White, and that's going to be this one. Don't you love them? Oh, they're my favorite. And I love the colors. And you can flip them so you can get a bigger gingham on one side. Oh, I just love them. I'm using them a lot. Okay, so now this is going to go right here, which actually, because of the way the card stitches, it's actually pretty cool the way those rectangles stitch. They stitch inside and outside. Why is that what? I missed that, Deb. I missed what. Why is what? Why do I need more coffee? And then this is going to go right here. And then this one is going to go and cover up that hole. There we go. And now we have this one, and this one is going to go like that. And then I'm ready to bring on my stamps. I love using those stitched rectangles because they absolutely, Kathy, you could do the options, lots of options. Okay, so what are we going to put on the front of this? Well, let's look at this stamp set because, again, as we are saying, there's so many choices. But I love, and they're perfect for our coloring. I love the hibiscus, and I really like him too. So I am going to take one of my Thinlits, my pre-punched shapes here, and put it right there. Now, if you have the pre-punched shape that someone sent to you, it's actually a little trickier to get these to line up perfect. If you have used the Thinlits at home, I would stamp first and Thinlit later, but you can do it. Another way, if you're mass producing these, is to Thinlit, take the piece that's left behind and pop it in your Stamparatus, and then you just keep putting these into the center of it once you've lined it up, so it works out really well. If you don't have the Thinlits, which most of you didn't order yet, you can, hold on, I need a bigger block. We're going to do a little fussy cutting this morning. And I am going to use, because I want to color this, I am going to color it with my aqua painter. So it doesn't matter necessarily. I'm going to have to be careful that I don't let things bleed with the aqua painter because it's water and it can use any of our stamp sets will be okay. I don't want to use my Memento though because I want my Mossy Meadow in case it bleeds a little. Oh, why are they at an angle? Sorry, Deb, I missed that question. If you put it straight through, it makes it harder to get it. It kind of goes at a ka-thunk. I'll show you again. I know, you don't have to fussy cut if you are a Brother Scan and Cut user. or you have a Thinlit. But if you aren't, which not everybody is, then you have to use your scissors. Or you don't cut it out and you just stamp it on there, but I kind of like it cut out. Now, I am going to grab some pinks and yellows, which are not inks I told you to have, but I know that you have them. I'm going to grab, but I want to make sure that I'm coordinating. I want to make sure that I'm kind of going with it. But notice when you look at your Gingham Gala, you don't really have any pinks in here anyway. So it doesn't really matter what I pick, it will be fine. I know I've talked about it, they have to match. So I'm going to go with some Flirty Flamingo and some, maybe some So Saffron might be good. And I'm going to do this as though I were using my blends. You could use your blends if you wanted, but if you don't have them, you can use your Aqua Painter with your stamp sets. I found it easier to squeeze on the old ones. You're going to squeeze the stamp set like this and push. And see how it ends up putting a little bit of ink up there? That becomes like a palette. And then a squeeze from the Aqua Painter. And then you get almost a watercolor look. Notice though when I'm picking up the green, it's adding it to it. So I have to be careful not to get too much green in there. But I don't really want to color the whole thing. I just want to add just a hint of color to it. All right. So that's one option. You can use your, when you try and squeeze this one, I find it really hard. They don't squeeze as well, or I'm getting weak. See, I didn't get any in there. So what I do is just take a corner and pick up a little bit of the ink. And then just go on the outside. Now let me show you using your blends. And that's why I added the Brothers Scan and Cut to my toolkit, because I was missing a lot of stamps. There's a lot of stamps that you end up not using because they don't have a Thinlit, and you're thinking, I'm missing something. So I added the Brothers Scan and Cut so that I didn't have to miss them. Now I'm using the Memento right now because I'm going to add the blends to it. And I'm going to grab some let's see, I have Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral. Like, that doesn't look right. That looks like a pumpkin. That looks like a Calypso Coral. So this time you can see how awesome the blends are. You don't get the running, you don't get any smearing because these are alcohol markers. You could also use your watercolor pencils. So I just wanted to show you all the different ways to color with this set. If you were in the coloring club this month, you have Mossy Meadow and Balmy Blue as your choices. So you will have these markers. If you're wondering what the coloring club is, on the first, okay, it's the second, I'll do it later today, I tell you what the colors are going to be that month. You order them, you take care of it, I don't order them. You go ahead and do that, and then you join me for a coloring class using those. markers. So this is our Mossy Meadow. January was Mossy Meadow and Balmy Blue. And I haven't picked my colors for February yet. I don't know what I was doing yesterday. The 1st of February came on me really quickly. Watercolor pencils are with StazOn. I have a little, there's a picture that I post frequently, but I put a label on my ink so I know, and it does say watercolor on here. You just can't see it because it's on black. I like to start with the dark first. There is not a rhyme or reason to it necessarily. But when I'm going to do shading like on this leaf, and what's awesome, now you'll notice there's one other coloring tool in the Stampin' Up! Toolbox that I'm not using, and that's the markers. It's just another area of coloring, and I don't have the markers, to be honest. I love the blends. I was a Copic girl before in my past life, and so I really, really like the way the blends work. All right, when you're going to fussy cut, get the big piece of paper out of the way. And it's really not hard. It's really not bad. What's nice about fussy cutting is it can kind of be relaxing. Notice I'm turning the paper. I'm not turning the scissor. And I'm leaving a little white rim around it. And I'm going around my flower. Yes, clearly it's way faster with the other tool, that tool that we don't always talk about. But I also want to talk a little bit about, while I have you, why the Scan and Cut is awesome, but it's not a be-all and end-all. If you have a Thinlit, you get a really different look with a Thinlit than you do with a die cut. The Thinlit rounds the edges and makes it a much more finished product than a die cut does. So I don't replace it. I use it as an add-on. It would not stop me, and it hasn't stopped me, from ordering Thinlits. But it adds on to things that don't have a Thinlit. And there's a lot of them that don't, that I love. Notice I talk hesitantly when I'm cutting. For some reason my brain can't cut, talk, or type at the same time. Can't do any of those things. It's a one-track mind. All right, so there is our fussy cut flower. And it's going to come right on here. And then I'm going to put my sentiment over here, which I'm going to use Hope You Feel Better really soon. I want to talk a little bit about cling stamps. I've been talking about this because they're really new and I want to make sure everybody knows about them. See where it says cling stamp set up here? If you have an older one that might look like this, but it will say clear mount. See the difference? Clear mount. This one says cling stamp. Some of the really even older ones don't even say that, and they're not all that old. Oops, that's not one. Here's one. Here's a clear mount stamp set. That's not what I wanted. Why am I showing you that? I just showed you that similar. It's the piggy one. Sorry. Here is another Clearmount, but it doesn't even say it, the little piggy one. So cling is really different. What it refers to is the stickers that go on the back. And you notice on all my older stamp sets, I never use the stickers on the back. They didn't stick very well. So Stampin' Up! Has come out with this super cool sticky stuff called Cling. So when you get your new stamp set, and you can choose to use them. If you don't like to, you can still use them this way. I find they stick really well to the blocks, not a problem. What's nice is you can see through the block. See, I can't really see where the flower is, where the leaves are on this one. But let's do this guy. So they come with a slit, and this just pops off. Nice, it's not hard to find that little section. And then you take your stamp and you lay it down right in that hole. Line it up. And then peel back. And there's my sticker. But look, literally very clingy, very sticky. So it sticks to my block really, really well. It doesn't fall off. The thing to be aware of, it sticks to the block. You want to be sure when you go to take it off the block that you don't just grab the red part and pull, because you can rip your stamp apart. So you want to tuck your finger underneath, make sure you get, and you're pulling on the whole stamp, not just the top part, okay? Same thing happens when you put it back in here. I've been saving this, which I didn't always do, saving that little outline and popping him in there so he doesn't really stick super to the back. If he does stick to this, he's going to stick really, really well. Same thing. Make sure that you lift up from the edge. All right? Okay, so that's Cling. So this sentiment, get off me. And the same thing for today that works for all of my Monday and Thursday videos. If you share this, I'm going to go through and pick all the people that shared, and I'll pick one of you to win this actual stamp set that I'm using today. So, but you have to make sure, if you're not my friend on Facebook, which I don't know why, I thought you all were, but if you're not my Facebook friend, put share in the comments with your name so that I know that you did, because if you're not my friend, it doesn't always tell me, right? But see how if I, on another thought, if I didn't have this sticker on the back, I might think that the stamp is straight right now, but it really isn't. It's really crooked. So I'm going to stick my nail underneath. If you don't have a nail, that's not a big deal. If you don't have a nail, you can take the toolkit, the little spatula part of the toolkit. Let me find mine because I had been using something else. The Make It tool has a spatula. It also has a really stabby thing. And you just pop this in and keep this handy if you don't have nails. And you can just slide this underneath and get it started. All right, and you just want to get it started. So what I'm going to do is lay this down so I can see now which way is nice and straight. Line this up with the bottom of my block and make sure that my sentiment is straight. And notice that if you look really close, you'll see that the bottom of the stamp doesn't look straight, but the sentiment does, right? Okay. Now I'm ready to stamp that on here, right over here. And I am going to use, because I want to match what I colored, I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow. There we are. Now I'm ready to put my card together. Those of you that are in my Brothers Scan and Cut classes will know that this week we created a file to line your envelope. It was so easy. But I'll show you how to do it if you're not a Brothers Scan and Cut user too. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back because you can never have too much dimension. Now, if you didn't want to make this a Hope You're Feeling Better card, any of your sentiments clearly would be great. While I'm talking about the person that's going to win the stamp set, make sure when I announce the winner later today that you message me your mailing address. I want a diagonal cut here, there, much better. And notice that blends bleed through the back. They're supposed to do that. That's why you really can't, you can. It's not as good to put them right on the front of the card unless you want to put a lining on the inside because it is going to bleed through. Not in problem. Isn't it pretty? I love this one. And it's so simple. And it can be used for 100 things. Because they're just really basic in the color. Love them. They're easy to color. All right, so there's our flower. These are the sequins that go with the gingham gala. They're already pre-adhesived. And they come in all the colors, right? Super cute. Here's our blue. And I'm just going to add a little something with a sequin because, again, you can never have too many sequins. So there's my card. For some reason, my Zoom is not zooming today. Why is that? I don't know. It's okay. We'll live with it. We'll do this. All right, so now our envelope. This is going to fit in our regular medium-sized envelopes. And if you do not have the file from the Brothers Scan and Cut class, I'm going to grab a piece of my, this is the piece I cut off from here. Now notice it's not going to fill the whole thing, but you know what? It really doesn't matter. It's okay. So I'm going to hold this in place. It's going to be pretty, and it's going to leave my adhesive here just enough to catch. So I'm going to hold this in place. Now if you are not a good holder and placer person, you can stick this right down now. It's not going to matter. And then you're going to flip it over and you're going to cut the pieces that are sticking out. Make sure you're right on the fold. Don't cover up the fold. Flip it over and you're just going to trim. I know, all this hand cutting, I know. Cut right along the edge of your envelope. Right? Flip it over. And do the same thing on this side. Right along the edge of your envelope. There we are. Now I need to do a little bit more adhesive under here because I didn't stick it all the way down. I could have put the adhesive on the envelope instead of the paper and then I would have gotten it in the right place. But I didn't. We'll do it the next time. And you're going to tuck right in. Whoops, my sequin. And there is envelope and card number 1. Underneath the word better. Oh, you want this down here? A third sequin. You want a third? Debbie, you keep me in line all the time. All right, girly. Here comes our third one. I almost missed that. You like that better? Oh, that's too matchy-matchy right now. Well, that's where it's going to live. Okay. All right, so there's card number 1. Let's try card number 2. I'm going to put you over here. And let's see. Oh, this one we're going to use our rooster. Now, the people in the class that ordered the class got the rooster because it was Celebration. So he was a freebie. And sometimes these freebie ones you don't pay attention to, or I don't. And sometimes I think, oh yeah, that's cute, yeah, whatever. It's awesome if you pay attention to him. So I love the sentiment and I love the fonts. So let's build our card base. And we're going to do the same thing. I've already made a mess. Hold on, let me pick up my mess here a little. And I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with the yellow this time. Right, Nancy. I was thinking the same thing. If it's not on straight, no one's going to see it, don't worry. But somebody might. And then they'll be surprised that you took that extra little moment to do it. So this, you're going to cut a 4 1/4 by 2 1/2, 2 of those. I'm going to do it out of this. So I'm going to grab my 2 1/2, this, and I'm going to cut 2 1/2 twice. And I'm also going to take a piece of the green, and this is going to be my 1-inch strip. Now I could use anything I had left over. I wouldn't necessarily take a whole piece unless I love it, which I do. And now I'm ready, and I could also use this little piece too that I had left over if I wanted. And I'm going to, oops, I need to do the 4 1/4. Sorry. So I could have done the 4 1/4 first and saved myself a cut. I'm going to show you what this one can do. So you only need to use one piece of paper if you don't want to swap a color. But if you want to swap colors, and then you're just going to grab your card front, your base, and this is how they're going to go. This one's going to go here. I'm going to flip this over and put it down here. This is what I wanted to do, and then this is going to go like that. All right? But you could flip both of these over and put you down the middle. Whatever. It's really not a big deal one way or t'other. And you're going to stick those on down with your snail. Honestly, everything I share, it really is not gospel. It's not brain science. And if you have a better way, I'd love to see it. And so when you make these cards, I would love to see what you've put together. You can post them right here on this page. If you are not in my Facebook group, you should definitely join us over there. It's a much more chatty place. This page is great for sharing my live videos, but it's hard to chat over here because it gets lost. So if you're not in my Facebook group, please join us. You should see a group on the side. If not, can somebody post the VIP group link for people that might not have had it? Okay. So now we're ready to do the top, and I actually got these numbers right on this one. My cardstock, you'll notice in that cardstock pack, it doesn't have this yellow. It just has the Balmy Blue, the Grapefruit Grove, and the Highland Heather. So you'd have to go to your collection of paper, and I posted earlier yesterday I think actually, in my Facebook group, that I'm planning to put together a cardstock paper share. I've never done it before. I'm working on the numbers right now to figure out how many people we need and how can we do it. I always wish I had every single color that Stampin' Up! Makes. I'm not that rich. Thanks, Shannon. But I feel like if we did it as a group and we all got a half a sheet or a sheet, I have to do it to see. I don't want it to be outrageous. And I haven't really figured out how many. I think it would be super cool. All right, so I'm using some Lemon Lime Twist, which is not a color. Do I like Lemon Lime Twist? I do. 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then my Whisper White is going to be a 3 by 4. And this is basically my stamping platform. I'm going to stamp my rooster on this 3 by 4, so I don't have to fussy cut him. So this goes like this. It's going to go right here. And then we're ready to do our rooster. You could use the stitch rectangles for this one too, just like we did on that first one. If you like the stitched pieces better, you could use that. We're going to go with this. And I need my rooster, who is also a cling. You might notice that there's a fussy cut rooster in here. He's not a fussy cut. He's a Brother Scannon cut rooster. Because there isn't a thinlet that goes with him. So sit down, Mr. Rooster. Get some cling on your butt. There he is. And he's going to go right there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my Memento and my blends. If I wanted to use my Aqua Painter, whoops, hold on. I'm not done. I knew there was something else I wanted to do. I want to, notice it comes with this great, I was going to say weeds. They're not weeds. Tall grass. Great tall grass. I want to put the tall grass on, but I want the rooster to be in front. So what I'm going to do is stamp my rooster, but I'm going to make a mask for my rooster. So I got to cut again. The best thing to make a mask with, oopsie, is to use our little Post-it notes. So I'm going to stamp my rooster on here. And then I'm just going to stamp on here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And then, yep, we're going to fussy cut again. Telling you, you're going to love that Brother Scannon cut. Yeah. No, I don't work for them. No, I don't sell them. Wish I did. You're just going to cut out your rooster. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Kathy, I think the trickiest part of this is thinking, what do you want first? And it's what do you want in the foreground? So I want my rooster. I don't want him hiding behind the bushes. I want him to be up front. So I'm going to stamp him first. It's kind of the layers technique almost. And some things you want detailed, but others it doesn't really matter. All right, because I used the Post-it note, there's some sticky left on it, and I'm going to put this down on top of my rooster, making sure he lines up the best I can. It's not critical. All right, then I'm going to take, right, you mask what you want in front. Then I'm going to take my grass, and now I'm not going to color this grass in, so I'm going to do this in Mossy Meadow, which I've lost. Really? No, I didn't. Now I don't have my cling on this, so I'm not going to be able to tell if I have them straight. And I don't want to come back, so I'm going to take a second and cling him up so that I make sure that I get my grass going the way I want it. Because it's really easy to have it off just a little and not realize it, as I've done a gazillion times. Now that I actually can use these stickers, now I really like them. And I used to think they were dumb. I never quite got it. So, flip you over, line you up with the bottom of the block nice and straight. I mean, they're grass, so if it's crooked, it's okay. And then I'm going to stamp over my rooster. And I'm going to do him over here too, because I want him to be pecking in the grass. And I'm going to do one more a little bit lighter. All right? And now it looks like a total mess. But there's my rooster standing in the weeds. And you can save this. You can just pop this back in your stamp set and you can use it again. It doesn't go bad. Now, the fussier you are, the closer you get your images to it. But I kind of like that it almost looks like a shadow popping out, right? Okay. So that's masking. Now, my rooster's going to be, is this Cajun? I hope I have Cajun Craze. No, that's Calypso Coral. This is Cajun Craze. And I'm going to do a little coloring on my rooster here. Notice it's kind of a dabbing. I use the longer end. It just works better for me of the blends. I don't know if this is a real color of a rooster, but he's my color today. He's some kind of oriental. So there he is. And some snail. And he's ready to go here. Now he needs a sentiment right there. What do I have that fits? Well, if it doesn't fit, I can always do a punch on top, but I'm going to go with thanks for your friendship. Just this guy. And since I have 2 awesome stamp sets today, maybe we can have 2 winners. So sharing people, I will pick 2 winners. Cling your friendship. See, it does go pretty quick. Rooster's coming awesome, Shannon. Good. I feel better already. And Mamasi Meadow. I really like him. I think he's super cute. And now he's ready to... And seriously, this is a stamp set that I never would have really looked at. I probably wouldn't have picked it, but I really like him. And I can think of a lot of ways I would use him. Think about, oh, a pet rooster. Susan, that's adorable. The winners will be tonight, Kathy. And I'll post, I'll post him on the page. There he is. Now let's grab our envelope. And this time we're not going to line it, but we're going to put a little note on the back. So we're going to take one of the sentiments and put that on the back. I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I think I'm going to do enjoy the simple moments. You know, when I was little, we used to raise chickens, and my son and daughter-in-law have chickens, Bo's mom and dad, but they really smell. Now that I'm older, they're not so cute. Now I didn't cling this, so let's see how we do. Yeah, not bad. And there we go. Right? Simple. I just really love it. Okay, so there's card number 2. Whizzing right along. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing good. And then we have card number 3. All right, this one's a little trickier. Right? I love that one. Enjoy the simple moments. I should put that up on my wall behind me, since simple is who we are. All right, I'm just trying to get down to where's my... I'm building a pile of stuff over here. Right. They really are kind of smelly. All right, so here's our card, right? And we're going to fold it back on the front. You could score it if you wanted, but you don't have to. You're just going to fold it back. Now I'm going to use my 2 circle punches. And I'm going to use my 2-inch punch. And I only want to punch half of it. So I flip it over, and I'm going to line it up so it's right down the middle. And if you line up the edge of the punch with the fold, you pretty much get the middle. And punch. You got to squeeze because it's thick, but it works. So now my card has this cute bite out of it. And then I'm going to do, what color have we used? We've used yellow and blue. Let's use the orange, which, to be perfectly honest, is my least favorite color. The Grapefruit Grove, when it first came out, did not do a thing for me. But I have to say I've really started to like it the longer I use it. So I'm going to grab my Grapefruit Grove cardstock, which came in the pack, and my Grapefruit Grove pattern. I'm going to cut a 4 and 5 1/4 that's going to go on the back. oh, not really the back, but the inside of my card. 4 by 5 1/4. And that is going to go it is kind of I'm getting to it, but orange is not necessarily my fave. It's funny how certain colors hit you. Super crooked. Let's try doing it nice and straight. Much better. Okay, so that goes there. And then I need a 2 by 5 1/4 out of my pattern paper. So 2 by 5 1/4. And that is going to go here, but oh wait, I have a hole there. I need to punch that out, but I'm going to put this in. I couldn't really punch through all 3 layers. Susan, I should have known. This is you. That's why they did it. So I'm going to do the top, the bottom, and along the edge on here. And then I'm going to come over here because I want to get it right. I don't know where I would guess on this side. And whoops, keeps sticking to me. And I'm going to stick here and here. Not right up to the edge though. And a little bit around the circle, all right? And then I'm going to put this on. Whoops, get over there. Okay. So there's that. Now I have this little piece here that I'm going to want to get rid of. But I actually don't want to get rid of it. Let me show you what we're going to do. We are going to cut this piece with our bigger circle, our 2 1/4. No, I did that backwards. I'm having a hard time with my backwards forwards. This with a bigger piece, sorry. And then this with the 2-inch one. Okay. And now I'm going to tuck you in here, covering up that circle. So what that circle did was to give us our placement, really. And then this one is going to go right on top. Okay? Don't stick this down yet, though, because we're going to stamp on it. So you could have done it without punching, but I kind of like that it gives you that option. If you put glue where you don't want it, rub it off, you'll be okay. Keep rubbing and it goes away. That's the beauty of snail. And then I'm ready for you on the top, but we're going to stamp on that. All right, what are we going to stamp? Well, we've got choices. We haven't done our hummingbird yet. He's not going to really fit on here. So my sentiment's going to go on here if I want to put my hummingbird on there. And then he's going to go, and I could use my flower too, whichever one I like. I can use my hummingbird right here and my sentiment right here, right? Okay, so I'm going to put my sentiment down and I'm going to do my thank you. And I'm going to use my memento because I want to make sure you can see it really well. And I'm also going to stamp my hummingbird in my memento. Hi guys, I'm glad you're coming in. Welcome. Thank you. My bird. Mr. Hummingbird. I'm going to try this. I'm probably going to be really, really bad at it, but I'm going to give it a try. I am going to try lining him up like this. It doesn't look like it's going to work very well. I have a wider one. Let's do that. I'm terrible at this. I know I wanted to show you how to do it. I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I can't line it up. I don't know why, but I'm going to try this technique and see if I'm better at it. This is just not my thing. I'm not good. I try and I don't ever get better. All right, there's my bird. So instead of trying to flip it over and place it, oh, we could try that. I'm going to try this. But you have one shot at it. And you're going to come down and commit. I don't know, let's see what happened. Right? Man, not bad. Better than I've done normally. His tail is a little bit iffy, but I'm going to use my blends and we're going to fix it. I'm going to try with the skinny guy just because, you know, why not? You can see I moved him a little. If you freak out doing this, then fussy cut him or grab the thinlits or take my brother's scan and cut class. There you go. Those are your choices. Or get good at this. I'm not. All right, let's try the tail. All right, we're good. Oh, goodness. Awesome. I do too. I never do it this way. Yeah, see, he didn't come out very good. I'm not good at it. I really am not. I'm going to fess right up at the very beginning. It is not my skill set. Oh, Debbie, I could try. It's making me break out in hives. All right, so I have him. I could just cut him out. I'm going to go with him, though. He's okay. You really want me to? I don't know if I have another one, Deb. Oh, maybe I do. All right, I'll try one more. Debbie makes me try things. She always does. All right, Deb, we're going to follow your lead. I might need him for something else anyway. Okay. You ready? Commit. Debbie wants me to press with a block on top. Okay. All right. Everyone close your eyes and I'll make it be magical when I pick it up. Deb, you're awesome. I love your ideas. Okay, you ready? Ta-da! Look, she's always right. She's always right. Perfect. All right, I feel better already. So, following Debbie, when you put it down, get another block and push on top and you get a nice even punch. It actually did come out pretty cool both times. Really did. I'm okay. Whew. All right, so if I use the Mossy Meadow, I wouldn't need to color him. I could just put him on just like this, right? Because I did do this one, I'm going to color it. One of the things that you want to remember when you're coloring with blends, and I don't think I showed you this earlier, because they do bleed through, if you're doing a lot of coloring, put something down underneath it. And then when you're kind of color, you're going to have something for it to ooze through if it needs to. No, I don't want Night of Navy. I want Balmy Blue. Do I have you? I do. And it is Debbie for the win. You're right. So I'm going to take the darker one, the thinner one. And again, I was just trying to think what is the hummingbirds purple? There's different color hummingbirds, right? Debbie will send you a note. Debbie was right. Debbie's always right. And I'm going to darken his wings in here. I'm using the dark Balmy Blue. Again, he's a hummingbird. You can make him any color you want. He's your hummingbird. And then you take the lighter color. And what's the reason blends are awesome is that line will go away. It, well, blends. Right? So pretty. And then some Mossy Meadow. You could do one side of a feather, one color, and then grab the lighter one. Tight circles work pretty well. And this flicky motion. Again, I can't talk in color. And then if you want some brighter colors, bring in the yellow. I think this is an unusual hummingbird that doesn't exist in real life. So if you're a realist, you won't like him. Seriously, if you want to make it look the way it's supposed to look, go online, look at a picture of a hummingbird, and then you can color him looking real. I feel like he's more purple than yellow, but you know what? This is a yellow-breasted, exotic hummingbird, only found in the fields. I don't know. All right, there's my hummingbird. I'm liking it. And now he's gonna go, and I'm gonna put my card together. So he's gonna go here, right? I do like his colors, even though he's kind of silly. And you can see how the color came through the back. That's what it's supposed to do. So the reason I put together the Blends Club this year is because blends can be expensive. So it's a way to collect them throughout the month. So each month you buy 4 sets, so that's $36. And then you get the free class that goes with it. Hi, Lana, welcome. Let's hope this stays for you today. How's the weather in New Hampshire? I mean, I could do this. Oh, no, I can't. He's not a shadow. Whoops. This is going to go down first. Hold on. I have snails somewhere. Anybody see it? Oh, right in front of me. In the fields of Millerland. Yes. See? Thank you. Debbie, you're right again. Right again. There's that one. And then this one. Whoops, come down. You need to make sure that his tail doesn't stick out beyond the card. But there is, it's called, but there's that card. Isn't it cute? Really different. And then lots of room to write your little sentiment in here. If you don't want it to show through, then make sure you write over here, underneath the little tucky part. Okay, so there's that. And we need another envelope. And this time, I'm going to take Ooh, I really like that, but I don't know that I can. There's the really cute leaf stamp, and I'm just going to do a border of leaves. Now I'm going to show you two different ways to do it. One, you can just eyeball it and go right along, or the Stamparatus has a really cool way. And I am showing you some of this stuff. I don't expect you to go collect all of it. I really don't. Although you know, you could. I wouldn't be mad. Seriously, I want you to just know other tricks that you can do. So in Inspire, I tend to show you lots of stuff, even though you don't necessarily have it. But if you have a Stamparatus, and I want the leaf to go along the edge of my flap. So I'm going to tuck this in nice and tight. Remember, Stamparatus comes with 2 magnets. I'm only using 1. And I want this to go, I could do it like this, and the leaves would march down, or I can do them this way. So I'm going to flip you over, bring this over, pick up my stamp, Mossy Meadow it, and stamp, pick it up, pick up the Stamparatus and move it down 1. And bring this over, and I'm going to stamp it right now, even though it's going to be lighter. Pick this up and move it down 1. Ink. Pick it up, move it down. Ink. And now we have a really cute border that looks like it's custom. It's not. You could color in some of the inks, some of the leaves if you wanted to, but super easy to do. And now this is this card. All right. Moving right along. Now we're going to do our box. And this is the Gable box. This is the white pearlized. It's so pretty. Really, really like this one. And this is what we're going to do with our box. We need to add our hummingbird or our flower. I haven't decided yet, so I left him like this to show you. All right, so what do we need? We need our Mossy Meadow. We need our Aqua Painter. We need our linen thread, our 2 punches, or your thinlits, and do I want to use blue? What other color have I? Oh, I haven't used the purple yet. So you could, let's go with it. Let's go with Highland Heather. And so I'm going to grab the Highland Heather ink too, because I'm matchy. But it doesn't matter. You could use the other one if you don't have Highland Heather. But I do. Okay, so there's all that. That's what you need. You don't need these guys. Ready? All right, first thing you're going to do is get your trimmer. And on your sketch, has anybody looked at the sketches? Notice that I made, and remember, I got to fix that first one. But notice I made them so they print out like this. So it might take a little more paper, but it's easier to read, I think. Then we used to do them like this, and they were the little 4 corners, and I think they were too tiny. Either that or my eyes seem to get older. I don't know. This is what you're going to do for your box. You're going to cut 2 6x6. That is not true. 2 2x6 and score them at 3 inches. Good thing I proofread these with you. So don't print those yet. Those of you that are in the classroom, don't print them yet. I knew I was rushing this morning. I was trying to proofread them last night, and I was just not thinking. I couldn't see. It's really not right either. Hold go back. Let's rewind. It's 1 3/4. 2 1 3/4 by 6. Okay. Then you're going to take this leftover little piece and you're going to punch 2 of the 2 1/4 inches. Okay. Then you're going to punch 2 of the 2-inch ones out of your Whisper White. There. Okay. That's all the punching that we needed to do and all the cutting we needed to do. Now I'm going to attach these right here, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want to stamp on these. So pop those over. These guys need to be scored at 3 inches. If you don't want to score, you could just fold them in half, but we're going to do it right. All right, don't assemble your box yet. And this is the gable box. I'm going to leave it flat. And you're going to take a piece of scrap paper and put it down. And you're going to take your box. All right, and that's how it comes. Debbie, I love the circle punches. I use them a ton. They're just so simple, right? All right, I'm going to open up whatever color you've decided to use. You do not have to be matchy-matchy like me. And I'm going to get, this is the fun part, I'm going to get a little bit of, so just squeeze and get a little bit of color on your aqua painter. And then you're going to knock it and splatter on your box. Just faint, doesn't have to be heavy. All right, it's kind of hard for you to see, right? Then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So get a little bit more ink. Come on, I don't think I got any. You really don't want a lot. You could use your spritzer too if you have the ink refills. Remember, all of our colors come with a refill. And people that have been doing this for way longer than me recommend that you, when you buy an ink pad, you buy a refill. Because when a color is retired, it's probably your favorite color. It's always the way it is. You'll get a new favorite, but it's probably your favorite color. And so when it retires, it's gone. So if you've got your extra ink, your extra refill, you get a little bit longer with it. All right, so we've got these two. You have to decide which side you like, the tiny or the big. I'm going to go with the tiny. So I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to get my tear tape, and I'm going to run right down the middle with my tear and tape on both pieces. Promise you, this is the easiest way to decorate the outside of this box. And it's not a box yet. It's still nice and flat. All right, so there's that. And I'm going to peel this up. Is anyone sick of listening to me yet? I know, I've been going for an hour and a half. We got one more project after this one. So if you're tired and you want to go away and come back, I get it. It's okay. All right, so now I'm going to line this up so this edge is right on that score line, right in the middle. Again, it's not the end of the world, but tear tape is not as forgiving as snail. And you want to lay it down. And then this piece, and it doesn't quite butt up against it. It's close. Now, if you got heavy-handed with your score, which I did on this one, you might start to get a little crack on your corner right here. Don't be so heavy-handed if you did, but we're going to cover it up so it's all right. So there's that. Now I need to take my twine. Now I measured this, but seriously, it's easier to just kind of pull it. And while it's still flat, you're going to bring this around. And I went around twice. The only thing you have to try and figure out is where are you ending up in relation to the box. You want to be on a side, but you don't want to be right where this crack is, because what you're going to do is you're going to cover up this space where it doesn't quite meet with your circles. So you want your bow to be on this side over here, okay? So once you get enough, so that's where my bow is going to go. I'm going to trim this off without cutting your skin. Those are crazy sharp. And then I'm going to tie a bow, but as you can see, it's much easier to tie it on a nice flat surface before you assemble it. And I'm tying it like I'm tying my shoe. While it's still here, trim your tail so that it's even. And then I take a little tiny piece of tear tape or a glue dot and pop it right underneath there so it all stays where it's supposed to stay. Ooh, I'm running out of glue dots. It works pretty well if you pick it up with this thingy and then just tuck it underneath. There. Now that's not going anywhere. Okay, great. Flat box, ready to go. Bend your box into position and flatten it the other way, and that will let you crease your paper. And now you're ready to close the bottom of the box. There's a trick to this. Fold these two edges under, get them down, then fold this one. So this is the one that goes first. Then these two little wings, then this. And it holds it. Right. All right, there's our box. Isn't it super cute? I love these. Then you poke these little ends out. They come in a package of 12 Valentine favors, party favors, just a little thank you. If you have you're giving someone a gift card and you don't want just a card. Super cute, okay? So there's that. Now we're ready to decorate and put that on there. This one I got a little bit more carried away with my splatter. And the reason I cut two is you want to cover up the back too. So you could punch, or you could stamp two things on the box. One's going on the front, one's going on the back. The negative to our hummingbird is he's a little big for that. But what I did was I put my sentiment on the circle, and then I'm going to add my hummingbird later as a little over-the-top guy. So my or my flower, either way. I'm going to have this one be a, I really like that thank you. I guess I'm going to use the thank you. And I need to clean it. Here it is. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Scrub. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. I love them. I like anything little, though. So I'm probably not a good judge. Stampin' Scrub, Stampin' Mist, and then your Scrubby. Remember, you can take these if they get gross. That's a technical term. They get gross. They end up with too much ink on them. As you can see, this one's starting to do that. You can just pop these out. There's a little piece in the corner, and you just pop it out. I usually use a butter knife. And then you can rinse these and let them dry and then put them back inside. Okay, so let's put this together. Highland Heather. And I'm just going to do the thank you on both sides, but you could do whatever you wanted on either side. And again, it doesn't have to be this stamp set. It could be any one. You're right, I do love this font. It's so pretty. Oh, I have to do another Debbie trick. You take your image and you're just going to go around it in the ink pad. And it's going to give it this really great extra looking shadow. See, I listen. When Debbie talks, I listen. So there's that one. I do listen to all of you. Right? Aren't they cute, Kath? He'll love it. Okay, there's that. And then I'm ready to pop you guys on here. And I'm going to flip them over, so I'm using the reverse because I used the little on this. Oh, I stopped. Yep, hold on. It's coming. I'm still here. It's just that camera's frozen. One sec. Someone dared to call me. I don't know why. I'm here. Hold on just a sec. I'm fixing it. Okay, we're good. I don't know who was nervy enough to call me today. There. Are we good now? Are we back? I think we're unfrozen. And we're going to pop you, and I'm going to do it kind of down at the bottom a little. And the same with this one. Then flip you babies over and give you some dimensionals. Let me know when I'm back. Okay, good. Woo! Okay. And that's going to go right there. Right? I should be back. And right there. They know I'm busy. And right there. Right? So honestly, it's really cute just like this. But if I wanted to add the flower, I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White. Whisper White, where are you? And where's my flower? I'm going to have to stop soon because I've made a really big mess. Good thing I only have one more project. I am making a mess. Make a mess, make a mess. All right, we got to clean you off. Those of you that don't know, I have 5 adult children that all live really nice and close to me, which is awesome. I'm the caregiver for my mom, who lives really close as well, all within like 5 minutes of me, which is heaven, but sometimes they call. I try and tell them what I'm doing, and they know that my night times are usually pretty good. Inspire, sometimes they don't know. So I don't want the leaves. I just want the actual flower. So I'm going to make sure that I get a good amount of ink from just the flower. And then, yes, we're cutting again. And we're gonna cut you. I'm gonna go pretty quick because I know I'm keeping you a long time. And I have one really cool one I want to show you. Our home decor project is next. Whoops. I have 3 dogs, a partridge in a pear tree. No. My husband, and 4 incredible grandchildren that also live nearby. So I am really, really, really lucky. But it's not unlikely that I would hear from someone on a Saturday morning. Okay, so there's my fleur. I love that flower. And what am I going to color? I'm going to go with yellow, I guess. But I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to do the inside. I'm going to grab my sequins, pop that in the middle, then some dimensionals, and pop this on the front, and we are good to go. I went shopping with them yesterday. They were something. And then I'm just going to tuck you. I want my bow to show, but I want you to get under there. And there's my flower. I could put it up here. Okay, so there's our boxes. And last but not least, I told you I went shopping yesterday. I have this really pretty 5x7 frame, and we are going to do the inside. So I went to Home Goods and found this super cute frame. And I picked 5x7 because I wanted it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to cut 5x7. Let me grab it to make sure it's right before I have to correct this one too. Now I'm doubting myself completely. Let's pick up a little bit. Gone forever. No, it isn't. It's this one when you're looking at it, and it's 5x7, 4 by 7/8, 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and then 4 by 6. And then 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 and 3 1/2 and 3 1/2. Right? Easy peasy. Then we're ready to decorate. And I decided that I wasn't going to make cutouts and all of those things because I kind of want to be able to put it in the frame. But those of you with your package that enrolled, you have this flower and you have a leaf. So hold on to those. Again, hummingbird or flower, doesn't really matter, whichever one you like. You're going to use your memento Or if you're using your watercolors, you're going to use your StazOn. And we could do the whole process of stamping on here. I'm not going to because you know how I do it, but it does work. And then I'm going to put my flower just like this. And I'm also going to grab my leaf, which I know is on a stamp, is on a block somewhere. Oh, he's on a Stamparatus. That's why I can't find him. And I'm going to add a leaf in here. Can't see what I'm doing. But I don't want the leaf to go on my flower, right? So I need to mask, but I don't need to mask the whole thing. I just need to cover up this part right here. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab my flower, and I just need the bottom part. And I don't need to cut out the whole thing. I need to be sure that I cut out this part in here because I want my leaf to go behind there. All right? So I don't really need this either. You look, where the leaf is going to go, it's going to hit that petal. So that's really the only part I need to worry about. So you don't have to mask the whole thing, but I kind of want it to really be fussy. So I'm going to cut right on the line. What's cool about this frame is you could change it up and put different seasons, different things in here. All right, I'm going to see how that lines up perfect. All right, so then we need a little bit of ink on this guy. And he is going to attach right here. Make sure that you are on your mask. And you're thinking, wait, that didn't work at all. Why did that not work? Because I didn't go all the way around my flower, right? This is where masking can be really tricky. You really do have to think, where am I going? So if you've messed it up, leave it on there. Come back and do it again. Now I do have to line up where the stamp is going to go, and I might screw this up. I tried to make mistakes to show you purposely what happens. I can make mistakes on my own without even thinking about it, but I was trying to show you exactly what happens with a mask. So now that's more about what I really wanted. So I'm going to take my leaf and I'm going to line it up. Now I don't have my cling on the back of this, so it's not going to be as good as I'd want, but it's a leaf. I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to be okay. Not bad. And now I get it so that it looks like it's more behind the flower, okay? Because I'm going to color them in, that's why I'm not really freaking out about it. It's going to be okay. I'm also going to take some... I'm looking for a green that I want, and I thought I had it over here, but I don't see it. These guys are Greeny Apple Green. Let's try that. And I want the lighter version of it, and I want a little bit of shading off the leaf. See how when you flick it away, and this is going to give it some kind of shadow on this side. And I want a little bit of shadow under here. Then I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow. And see, it kind of helps forgive the kind of boo-boo I made with the ink not being perfect. It really does. And it looks more like you kind of meant to do that. Coloring doesn't have to be perfect like it was printed. It's supposed to look like you colored it. There's also a color blender, which is a white pen. And it, in theory, it lifts the color. It really doesn't. But it does kind of help to blend them a little. And as it dries, it gets better. You can always come back over it. I try to follow the lines that the stamp designer gave me. Notice I don't go way up to the edges. We talked about it bleeding. In this particular case, there's plenty of paper behind this, so I'm okay. It's not going to go through. It's probably going through to them, but it's not going to come through or come out. You can do this with watercolor. These are great stamps to color because they're nice, big, open spaces. All right, I think we're good. And now I want some sort, this is going in a frame on the wall, so I want it to say something, but I have to think about what do I want it to say. I don't really want to hope you feel better, right? I don't really want a thank you necessarily, so maybe I'm going to go to a different stamp set. I'm going to go to the Simple Memories one, and I'm going to put that on a piece of the Lemon Lime Twist that I used and cut it as a title. As a sentiment holder. I'm giving it a new name. So I don't want to just stamp it on there. I'm going to stamp it on a piece of Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to use my Memento because I want it to show. And I don't know exactly how big I want it. So I want to leave myself a little bit of room. I'm not going to go right to the edge. I'm going to go up here a little. Enjoy the simple moments. Now I could have just stamped it right here, but it probably wouldn't show very well on the frame. So I'm going to put it on this, and I'm going to cut it out. Well, what am I going to cut it out with? I don't really have a label that fits it. I can grab a punch and see, but this one's not going to be Simple Moments. Did I say memories? Simple Moments. This isn't long enough, so that's not really going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to pop this in, and I'm going to line up the top of the letters with this, it's kind of a ridge on your trimmer. And then I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to line it up. Now I don't have anything to hold it up here. A rectangle Thinlit would work. Yep, that's true. And I'm going to make sure that I'm not cutting off any of my tails. Oh, I should have done this before. I need a new blade. I was going to show you how to do it. My blade's really bad, so we're going to come back in here and do it again. And now I have this cute little strip, but I need to do something. I can't just have it be a strip. So I'm going to take my scissors, snip, snip in, and then go from the diagonal to where I snipped, and the diagonal to where I snipped. Right? I have ink in my fingers. There's one end. I'm going to do the same over here. And if it's not perfect, it's really okay. It's really okay. It doesn't really have a negative impact. It's fine. Enjoy the moments. Some snail. Did I say that right? Yeah, moments. And I'm going to pop you right here. Now because this is up on several layers, I'm going to pop this side and just put a little mini dimensional under it so I get a more level sentiment. And then I'm going to grab me some of these really sweet, I kind of like the flowers, and I'm going to do 3 along the bottom. And then it's going back in the frame, and it's a nice springy photo to put on in my room. Pop this on the mantle. Now that all the Christmas stuff is done, and all I can see is snow outside. But you know, that groundhog, he said spring's coming, so I'm ready. And there we go. Right? And if you decide, well, I don't really like it, change it up. Who cares? Super easy. And you can change this frame over and over and over, change what's inside the frame over and over and over again. All right? Well, thank you all for coming. This was really fun. I hope that you will try some of these projects. If you need anything or have any questions, be sure and ask. Make sure that you share. Ignore my mess over here. Pretend that didn't happen. Let's move over here. So we have our frame. We have our box. Maybe if I stand this up, it'll hide some of the mess. There. We actually have 2 boxes because I made you earlier. Then we have our thank you card with our leaves. I have to say, I love the crazy rooster. Thanks for your friendship, and hope you feel better. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really love it. It's so much fun to do these. And I will announce our winner tonight, who's going to win each of these stamp sets. And I'm glad that you're here. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you back on Monday. If you're a Super Bowl fan, enjoy the game. If you're not, enjoy your crafting. Love you. Bye-bye.